Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video, and as you can see I have a double spread here with some photos of a church. This is St. James Cathedral in Chicago, and I went here as part of my train travels because I started in Milwaukee, then I went to Chicago, and while I was on my way to the Treehouse Museum, this was right around the corner, and I had never been there in all my times in Chicago, so I decided to pop in and see what it was like. So I have some wonderful photos here. I will be doing a photo flip because I have more than I can fit in just the standard pockets, so flip is required. So I will be doing that. I also have to find some background paper for this. This is the other side, so I definitely won't be using this pink and white striped acetate for the background. So in looking at this, I'm thinking maybe just a gray or even maybe a light blue. That's kind of the tint of the glass there. I'm not 100% sure, but those are the things that I need to take care of for this layout. In looking at the photos that I have, you can kind of see in the background here, there is this very light peach kind of coral color. You see more of it here in the close-up shot, and I don't think it's that far off from this color actually. So I'm wondering if I should find a card that is that color and perhaps also a bigger sheet that I could use for this background. Now, that's not a super popular color. I don't know how much of that I have in my paper stash, but we'll find out. I think I may have found some paper and a card that might work here. I'm thinking about this paper. I love how it looks with that. And again, the tone really isn't far off from that light brown. This is how the photo would sit on it, and I don't like it like that. But if I could find perhaps a gray where I could matte it, that I think I would like better, because I just feel like it just doesn't quite go here even though this is next to it. So I'm going to work on that. I did also pull this 3x4 card, and I like it because it's got the little stars on it there, and I feel like they kind of work with what's happening in the ceiling. If you look closely, it's kind of a star pattern that's up there, and so I thought, all right, maybe I could make that work to have that all together. So I think this is what I'm going with. I just have to figure out what am I going to matte this on so that it all looks a little bit more cohesive. When I went into my scraps, I had this sheet of gray, and I like it because it's actually not that far off from these windows. This has a bluish tint to it, but it's really not that far off, nor is it that far off from this. So I think I am going to cut it down here to be like probably 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. I don't want the mat to be too thin, but I also don't want it too wide. So I think that's probably the best choice. All right, so I have this on the mat, which I'm pleased with. That will sit just like that. And then because I have the gray there, I decided I probably needed it somewhere in the photo flip as well. So I cut a 3x4, and then I cut down this photo so that I have a little bit of room where I could do an embellishment or a stamp or something. So I think this will be the top of the photo flip, and then the others will be on the inside. I've decided to do some stamping at the bottom of this piece that I cut, and I'm going to just use the stamp that says beautiful, mainly because it is beautiful, but also because I have a small space to work with, and this is a very thin stamp that has a small font, and that's exactly what I need. So I'm just going to stamp it right here at the bottom, and then I can adhere the photo. All right, there we go. I did my stamping here, and then I can take my photo and put it right there and attach it to the flip. All right, so I've attached the top part and then the inside. I need this one, but I definitely want to put something down here. So before I attach it, I want to find that piece of ephemera or phrase label or whatever it's going to be and attach that before I put it on here. So that's my next step. for this photo, the only thing I've really been able to find to go with this is this circular piece of ephemera. So I think what I'm going to do is put it right in the middle, probably cut half of it off, stamp something there, and leave it at that. I don't think it needs more than that, but I have to find a stamp that's going to fit in there because that does not leave me a whole lot of space. I think I have found a small stamp set here that will work, and I think I'm just going to do the word documented right there because it barely fits, but it does give me enough room where I can still clip off half of it and give it the look that I want. So I do think that's the way to go. So I'm just going to get my stamp ready here. And from the look of this one, I'm thinking maybe I've never used this one. I know I have one or more other sets that have the word documented, so I probably used those instead. But I'm going to use this one, so I'll season it a little bit first before I stamp. That stamped perfectly, so now I can attach it and then clip off what I don't need. So I'm just going to do that quickly, and I want it right here near the bottom, pretty centered. Let's see. I'm gonna get less than half if I do that, but I think it's okay because I needed to take up a lot of the space here. So let's cut off the extra there. And that is still enough for me to save and use with something. So I'll add that to my pile on my desk. And then I'll put the staple in there. Yeah, I think that's good. So now I can attach it to the photo flip. Okay, so remember how when I just clipped this off, I said, oh, there's enough left, I can save it for something. Well, I'm going to have to because I forgot I need a little tab under here to do the photo flip. So put a little more adhesive there, and then I'll line this up to the word as best I can. Press down, and then that will become my tab for lifting it up. Okay, so now that I have all of that part done, that was probably the most difficult. I don't think I'll do anything here because this is for journaling. This, I'm not sure. It depends kind of how this page goes. But over here, I think what I'm going to do is place the photo much closer to the top so that it leaves me room down here. And I think I'm going to do a very large stamped title. I think I'm going to do this one that says captured and just put it right down there. I could also do it off to the side if I wanted to just give it a little more visual interest. Actually, I just realized I could do both of these. Captured this, and it would run, it would run the whole length of the page. You know, I think I'm going to do that instead. I think that's cool. I generally don't do large titles like that, but I really like the idea of that one. I did the first of the stamping, and there it is, and I absolutely love that. So I've got the next word ready to go, and I'm going to stamp that as well. I just need to make sure that I line it up correctly with this so that it looks good. Thank goodness for clear stamps because that will help me accomplish what I want. Look at that. I am absolutely in love with this title. It's huge, and that's okay. I just don't normally do titles like that, but look at that. I think that's going to look so good together, and it's certainly not what I thought I would do at the beginning, but I'm glad I tried it. I do think that I need something in the middle here because I made this a 4-photo collage. I think I need something. I'm afraid that everything in here in my black and white bag here is going to be too big. If all else fails, I could just do like a star or a geotag that's smaller, but I'd like something else if I can get it. So I'm going to look through here first. So in my bag of phrases and ephemera pieces, I found this one, Proof I Was Here. And I was looking for something maybe circular, but I didn't like any of the phrases that I had. And then some of them like this, I mean, that's just, it's honking. It's way too big. So I think I'm going to go with this and do it right there. And then that might be all I do with this because it's already got a pattern. It's a lot of words happening. I don't want it to become distracting. So I had everything here and thought it was done, but I feel like I do need more color. It feels kind of flat when I see it all together. And I noticed there's this purple in here, and it's just a little bit, but it would definitely make for a bright pop of color. And I went into my stash of just generic like stars, hearts, dots, whatever, and I have these in there. I think I'm going to use some of these, and because there are stars over here, I can mix that in with it, and I think it'll look good. All right, I think I have it finished for real this time. I took 2 of those purple stars and I put one up here and down here. And then I took one other one and covered up a star that was actually inside that circle. And then that gives me a visual triangle here. So I think I'm gonna stop messing with this one and leave it be. So here's another one done for my train travels. Thanks for watching.